Hello and welcome to the Metropolitan Elites.
Alright. Okay, so another thing in the budget that was Chancellor got a little bit of pressure was this Tampon Tax. And this gives us a chance to talk about Europe a little bit.
Yes, it does.
Because theoretically it's a European thing that we can't.
And
we must charge VAT on all our goods because we haven't got 0% on tampons at the moment. We can't extend that. And the Chancellor was getting a little bit of pressure over that, saying, would you do it anyway, even if the EU said you can't do it? And now that he intimated there was an agreement, now we've got an agreement that...
turns out they all agree anyway.
Yeah.
So actually it was maybe it was spin.
So the 5% VAT on sanitary products demanded by the EU, this is the Telegraph remember, it's demanded by the EU.
The EU demanding.
By the EU head for social, blah blah blah. Over the government, and they said that it will include a plan to abolish the tax in the finance bill next. Good. Okay, so that's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how are you getting on with the European?
Well, yeah, I mean, before our last video, I was thinking, well, it's probably going to be stay. But actually, it was what you said at the end of the video, and after a few weeks, I thought about that, and that even if we're better off staying, we need to, what you said, we need to be right in the middle of it. Is it too late? Has Cameron blown it? If he's alienated them so much, we will never be part of, not for 10 years, 20 years, will we be able to be sort of at the centre of Europe making the decisions? In which case, is it too late? In which case, we're going to have stuff done to us. Should we not stay?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Jeremy Clarkson came out this week. A lot of people have agreed with Jeremy Clarkson and been quite surprised by it. That maybe we should be a real contributor to the European Union.
That's the thing.
And that's effectively the point I'm making is, if we're going to be in Europe, that's the role we've got to play, because otherwise we would be marginalised. Yeah. And the divisions in the country, not just the Tory party, are such that I don't think we could ever play that role. So what are we doing in the in the EU?
Yeah,
I mean that's the real quandary for me. I mean
it's funny how I've often argued for why can't we be more like Norway, and there's all these right wing people saying why can't we be like Norway. It's really strange. Yeah. You don't really want to be like Norway.
Yeah,
it's a social democracy, and they're very happy there. Well, I don't think they are. Norwegians aren't naturally happy. I don't know, but it goes very well.
Yeah, well, the Scandinavian countries tend to rank quite high. I mean, Denmark was number one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Again. So yeah, I mean, I'm not. I mean, when push comes to shove, the question in my mind is still: do you vote what's in narrow terms, what's better for the country? So short term and possibly medium term, it's better for our country to stay in the European Union. But long term, I think we will be would be homologated. It's a great European term.
That's a good word.
And we would lose national identity because we're not a fully committed member. So
yeah,
from a long-term point of view, maybe that's the way to go. So I'm still not.
Yeah. And in fact, it will always be like that because we're a very Eurosceptic country. It'll always be like that. Whoever's the leader, whatever changes, will never really be able to be Germany and France and be in the middle of it, which we should have done.
Yeah.
But we didn't. So still, all our analysis, our response is the day before the vote, it'll be the same. It'll be like, very complicated.
But actually, I mean, you hear the Vox Pops on TV, and there are a lot of opinionated people out there.
Yeah.
But I think they only show the people that are opinionated, not the people going.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of complaints that they're not telling us what we need to know. We don't really understand it. Well. You can't be spoon-fed. I mean, it's such a subject. I don't think you can be spoon-fed.
Yeah.
The majority of people that access the internet, look it up.
Yeah. Should I vote in the...
What is the EU?
Yeah. I mean, there's now been mainstream stuff about saying that as well, that politicians are dumb with this, deliberately dumbing everything down. It's hugely complicated, pretending it's simple.
I do find the debate very disheartening because
there's no point in reading any of it because none of them are saying anything meaningful at all.
It's a nuanced debate, yet you hear the pro-EUs and everything about the EU is rosy and brilliant and fantastic.
Yeah.
And you listen to the Brexiteers and they're all the EU is completely evil.
The volcano base in Germany.
And there's no acceptance
there's no middle ground.
that there is pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
And it's quite a subtle nuanced decision.
And it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
It's still going to get worse. Imagine like a week before the vote, what it's going to be like.
See, what is interesting, Alan Johnson was put in charge of the campaign for Labour. He's been very ineffectual.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's saying, where's Labour in all of this? Well, he's heading the campaign up. It's up to him, like. I mean, the Telegraph just looked for something to have a go at Jeremy Corbyn. Oh, Jeremy Corbyn's not getting involved, but I mean, it is Alan Johnson's baby.
Yeah.
And
he
hasn't really pulled it off.
I mean, Corbyn's the interesting one because he is, in the truest sense of the word, Eurosceptic, but has come out in favour of staying in this particular case.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So, maybe that would have been a good idea to play the Corbyn card.
Yeah.
The problem is, of course, the media is so against it.